Divine rise, guys and goddesses. Are you embracing or are you merely existing? Let's get into first. Listen, we eat with emotion. We consume with emotion. We consume with emotion. So if I'm kept in a full state of fear, what am I consuming? I'm consuming everything based off that fear. So if I'm consuming in fear, in a fear realm, we're consuming in a realm of fear, and they keep us into this fear-bound energy, keep us in a traumatic event. Everything tastes good. Everything feels good. So we're merely consuming. We have to get into the mindset of savoring. Remember what I said about romanticizing our lives? That goes more into depth and in tune of getting in tune of controlling our emotions. Controlling our demons and helping our demons work for us. Rising higher into our angles of light to allow to move our light. From the dark, we create light. So what are you consuming? Most of us do it for taste. Most of what we call love is actually lust. That's one big thing. Much of what we consider love is actually just lust. Because we're doing it for a feeling, we're doing it for a taste. We're not doing it for any reason other than to cover or band-aid things that we need to work on. And one thing I notice about consumption, when we're merely consuming, the more you have thoughts of wanting to do better, the more you start to consume. The more we start to want to do better is the more we start to consume. The feeling changes. Even when we know we don't need it, we still consume it because it's based upon that's what we can get at that moment in time. When we consume, it's based on convenience. When you savor, it hit different. When you start to savor your life, when you start to romanticize your life, and start to put in those methods in your life to take yourself to a higher self, you start to savor the things that you do. You start to have a deeper understanding of what you do. In consuming, it becomes a repetitious nature. Meaning, we do things based upon the repetitions that we were taught. They tell us breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But most of the times when we eat breakfast, we put some of the most unhealthiest things into our bodies. We put stimulants. We don't put anything of natural to take us to the next level. How many times have you picked up a bottle of water before you pick up coffee? The first thing you put into your body, that first 20 minutes of your day are the most important minutes of your day. That first 20 minutes of your day are the most important moments of your day, because everything you do within the 20 minutes sets the tone for what you do for the day. So if the first thing you pick up in the morning is coffee, you want to get the day over with quick. The first thing you put into your day is that cigarette or that blunt or whatever it may be. You want to go through your day in that feeling. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we have to get into with ourselves of understanding why we do these things. Breaking down the word breakfast means to break your fast. For me, in my personal thought process, and when I promote and when I'm doing my, as I do personal training, I do nutritional consults. The first thing I try to get people away from is breaking their normal consumption of breaking that fast. In between the first moments when you wake up, your body should consume water. Water is a conduit of electricity. Our bodies are electric. Therefore, if I put water in my body as a conduit, as a conductor, I bring my body online. Water flushes everything that's settled as you slept. Water is that prime conduit for that. So be water. As you grow into this, you notice your body starts to act different because you're feeding your body love, and you're no longer feeding your body lust. You're feeding your body love. So the first thing your body is going to do is you're starting to feed it that love. You start feeding your mind that love. It's going to start headaches. Your stomach's going to hurt. Your body's going to hurt, and your body's going to ache in certain ways that it never ached with before. But that's because your body is now coming online to itself. Remember how I broke down the part of our growth, or the traumatic events that happen to us, no matter on the scale, that's how our body starts to change. You can't change without the traumatic event, because the traumatic event is a learning experience. That's the teaching point. That's what it's showing you something. The traumatic event is showing you something based upon your old self going to your new self. When you go through that state of depression and you're going through all these, depression is forcing your body to slow down so you can take time to actually start thinking for yourself and start thinking into yourself. Why am I in this setting? Why am I in this state? What is this environment that I'm? Everything you need is within you. Everything you need to get to where you need to go is right there within you. Nothing is without you. Nothing is outside of you. Nothing you need is outside of you. It's all within you. You create everything that you need based upon the paradigm of where you need to go next. When you set the intention or a goal in your mind, everything that you need is already there on the table. You just have to remove the barriers in order to see. You ever notice when you start a diet or you start a new plan in your life, everything that seems to come, everything that you need seems to come out, as well as the things that you no longer need and no longer resonate. That's based upon the paradigm of your mind. That's your subconscious fighting with your conscious. That's set battling Horus. That's the God versus the devil. That's God versus Lucifer. That's you. Lucifer is your side of what you take in. Your ego is going to keep you from going to that level, into that space, into yourself. Your ego is going to help you consume. Your subconscious wants to say. Your subconscious records it so it savors it. So what are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your body? What are you feeding your spirit? Are you consuming to merely exist and get through the day, or are you savoring in order to enjoy every moment of the day? We all have memories, negative and positive. We all have those times and memories, but what are you learning from them memories? I can sit here and say I enjoy every memory that I have. Because at the moment in that time when I was in that space, in that alignment of that space, what I needed to survive and sustain in that space is what I had. It was there. I now understand that I have to remove the barriers to go higher to understand that. That's all about what you're digesting into your mind. So what are you trying to take yourself forward as? If you're trying to sustain where you're at and stay the same, keep doing the same thing. Keep eating the same junior bacon cheeseburgers. Keep eating the copious amounts of salt. Keep eating the copious amounts of these different foods and items into your body. Keep doing the same thing you're doing, and I can guarantee you're going to be in the same exact space. But if you want to do more, you want to live better, you want to get yourself online, you want to create, you want to get that job, you want to build that career, you want to build that business, you want to build yourself, guess what you got to do next? You got to take yourself to that. You got to take yourself out of the mind frame of consumption and get into the mind frame of savoring. Because as long as you are a consumer, you can never be a seller. Because the only thing a consumer can sell is what they're consuming. That's when you become a business. Now you're just a businessman. Now you're just a business model. Because you're only consuming based on you're selling a product based on what you consume. Based on your understanding of that. Flipping your mind into the entrepreneur or going more into your God self, that's that entrepreneur mindset that you always hear in those self-help books about becoming an entrepreneur. That's when you start understanding the product and the services and the methods and the knowledge. And you start applying it and you start moving in that nature. And then you get into your higher self or the creator, the chaos of it. And that's when you become an infopreneur. That's when you're able to take the process and sell the process. That's when you fully become the example of what you want to do. That's when you start savoring life based on that. You start savoring. You start savoring yourself as the example rather than just consuming. Most people walk around here right now and they'll tell you how to consume something. They'll give you something based on your emotion. Everything sold to us based on our emotions. Ooh, shiny new car. I really need a car. How many commercials do you hear? Radio spots, ads do you hear talking about you can get this car for this price? All you got to do is have this much down or no money down or this much down. The minute you get there, they tell you everything else behind it, all the fine print, and then you walk away mad. And now you're mad. Now you're upset. It was a learning experience because now you know what you need in order to go forward. The key is applying that knowledge into what you want to go forward with and how you want to go forward. That's the key to that knowledge. That's the key to applying. Everything is a learning. Everything is a learning moment. Everything is within everything. You can sit here and say, I will never have enough money to do this, or I never can start saving, but you never look at the smallest things that you do are the easiest way to save. The same way you have to start translates into what you do. If I sit here and every single day I go to the corner store and I pick up a $2 can of beer or 40 or one of these little drinks just for the taste. But we always just say it's for the taste. You buy 2 bottles. You buy 2 little cans of something for $3. That's $6. So that's $6 a day. In about 14 days, that's roughly $84, about $68, about $66, about $84 a week. That's $168 a month that you just saved. The problem is you aren't aware of it because you put up a barrier based on your old self. Your old self tells you go ahead and go get it. It's only this much. Your older self will have you going to go gravitate towards things just because you can. We've been put into this. Remember, everything that's promoted on television, is to reprogram your mind. So I want you to take, once you understand it, you can change how it works. So if I sit here and say a hustler can lose it all and gain it all back, in your mind frame, the person that's usually telling you that's on the television, they have a financial backing behind them. So how much are they hustling to get back? They're promoting something that goes to your emotion. How about you change the paradigm? Instead of hustling to get something back, how about you hustle to grow? Instead of hustling to get something back, how about you hustle to grow? How about you take yourself into that sacrifice? You're going to hustle for 40, 50 hours a week to make $300-$400, and then you spend half of that. When are you going to start saving? You know exactly what you need in order to live. If you have a car note, rent, whatever, you know exactly what it is. You know exactly what that money price is every month. So why are you going to try to kill yourself at the end of the month to get it, rather than doing it in small doses? The same way you take in knowledge and information, the same way you need to start. Everything is everything. Once you start taking that aspect of knowing everything is everything, and that transpires and that transmutates through everything, that takes you to your next level, to your higher self. That puts you into a better thought process. Similar to that $168 you're now saving every single month. Now fill that void of, man, I really didn't need it. Because you think that this $168 that I'm saving every single month is more important than me sitting here for a temporary fix. That's how you gain in love with yourself. Because you love the fact that you just saved over $168, $200, however much money you start to begin to save. And you start realizing how much you were just going for a feeling or a taste. Now you start applying that aspect to the rest of your life and your growth. Because you're taking yourself to a higher shift, to a higher frequency. What we fill our lives with is based on our emotions that we're consuming, or we're savoring our life. Similar to taking yourself into yourself in the healthier, into the physical aspect. It all starts with a walk. It all starts with one push-up. It all starts with one burpee. It all starts with one lunge. This is what I tell my clients as I train them. It all starts with one meal. It all starts with one day when you fast. It all starts with one day. It all starts with one. It all starts today. Ain't no other day. Nothing else exists other than today. You can think about yesterday, but by the time you close your eyes and open up, it's today again. What are you doing in this moment to take yourself forward? Only worry about this moment, because it's the only moment that matters, because it's the only moment that ever happens. Today is the only day that ever happens. We have to remove the mind from ourselves, from the constraints that we have tomorrow. You don't have tomorrow. You only have today. What are you doing today? What are you doing to savor today? What knowledge are you taking in today? What are you reading today? What are you consuming today? What are you doing to elevate yourself today? I'll do it tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow never comes. And yesterday never survives. Tomorrow never comes and yesterday never survives. That's the thought process you got to put into our minds. We've been programmed into this weekly hustle and bustle to make enough just to settle for what we have. But at that moment, in that same moment, we say we're so deserving of so much more. So show yourself. The only person you got to convince, and the only person you got to convey and convince that message to is to yourself. Show yourself. The only person that you need to convince yourself is you. So show yourself. You say you want more. What are you going to do to begin to get more? You say you want more. The only thing that's stopping you is your own mind and the lack of knowledge that you took in. You got to elevate yourself. Educate yourself. Those moments when you had that most time alone, that first 20 minutes out of the day, for my first 20 minutes of the day, on a good day when the sun's shining, I sun gaze. Yeah, looking into the sun, or just squinting your eyes to a nice low so you allow enough of the eye to come in through your iris to your receptors, and you download. For us, as melanated beings, as gods and goddesses, kings and queens, titans, chaos beings, as us being an element of nature, similar to when a flower takes bloom. Similar to when that flower opens up, when that sunflower opens up to the sun. That's similar to our bodies coming online, to our minds, when we go higher to our higher self. That's about 15 minutes right there. Just sit there with your thoughts. Start clearing your mind. Remember, you're romanticizing your life, so you only want the best in your life. So you start removing the things that no longer resonate with you. Then you go into that meditation. When you get into a deep meditation, you start getting into that deeper meditation into yourself, and you start sitting there and you start breathing out. It starts with breathing in the good and breathing out the bad, breathing in the good, breathing out the bad. But then you start learning how to explore yourself. Start exploring your mind. The first space that you build to build anything that you want is inside of your mind. So if your mind is a workshop and it's a space of love and of abundance, guess what? Everything that comes to you in reflection will be of love and abundance. If your mind is full of fear and doubt and thoughts of that nature, guess what? Everything that's going to come around you is going to reinforce that. You are your generator, operator, and destroyer. So what are you consuming? Are you consuming just to exist, or are you savoring life? Are you romanticizing your life? Do you love yourself? If you love yourself, then you will love life. A person with a negative mind can never heal themselves. They can merely bandage themselves by making you feel bad. The perception of somebody else based on you is what's going to stop you. We allow other people's perceptions to stop us. We allow other people's actions to stop us instead of allowing it to teach us. A person will show you exactly who they are. It's up to you to control how you remove or you move forward. You know something isn't right in your life. You know if it's not right in your life, you got to cut those ties and accept those losses. And that's actually even a bad thought process. You got to cut those ties and accept those losses, not losses, but what you learned. So you cut ties and you accept what you learned. I learned not to go over into that space anymore. I learned not to go around this person because all they're going to do is drink their day away. I learned not to go around this person because all they want to do is get high all day. That's not what I'm about right now. I don't go around these people because they don't ever want to go work out. They don't ever want to go on walks with me. They don't ever want to go around with me. They don't ever want to do anything with me based upon that nature. Now, guess what? Don't get disheartened. Start doing it yourself. And I can guarantee when you start doing it yourself, the people that want to start growing, that want to be like you when they grow up, guess what they're going to start doing? They're going to start wanting to embrace that change. The only reason people start coming around you when you're going up to your higher self is one or two reasons. Either to stifle you or to grab that example. So are you leading by example? Are you leading by example? Are you learning to grow by that example for yourself? How are you pushing yourself? How are you taking yourself to the next paramount? That's what we need to start getting into. How are you taking yourself to the next level? How are you growing? How are you showing? How are you aiding in the development of you and in the reflection that takes people higher? You love yourself? Show us that you love. Show yourself that you love yourself. That 4-mile run is it's gonna be hard at first. So start walking. That one push-up is hard at first. So start in plank position. That meditation, sitting there still for 15 minutes, sit there for an hour. Push yourself because you know yourself. You already know exactly what you've been through. You already know all the negative shit that you've been through in your life. The shit that kept you down, and you survived that. Flip that energy around. It's all about turning this shit around. It's all about turning it around. It's all about turning everything around, turning everything on its head. Life has turned you on top of your head. So guess what? Turn life on its head. Now you got the same view. Now you viewing it from your angle. You're in control of yourself. You're in control of your destiny, everything that you want. You're your own generator. You're your own operator. You're your own destroyer. You're your God. You're your goddess. That's what you are. As a God, you create. As a goddess, as a God and a goddess, you create. As a God, you're the generator from the chaos that you create. The chaos in your life is a manifestation of your reality. So when things get chaotic around you, you learn how to navigate through it. You learn how to make everything flow in the same conduit. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is on the same energy as how you tap into it. So instead of straying away and running away from certain things, learn how to understand it. At first, you have to separate in order to understand it. You can't understand a box if you're inside that box. You can't understand why you drink until you stop drinking for a while. You can't understand why you smoke so much until you stop smoking for a while. The withdrawal is going to hit you. Yeah, you're going to have that headache. Yeah, you're going to get angry. But guess what? That anger is going to teach you how to navigate to your happiness in a healthier fashion for yourself at first. Learning how to understand yourself to that nature, that's what we're looking for. Learning how to understand yourself on a deeper level is what you're searching for. Everything you need is within you in that paramount. You just have to remove the barriers in order to get to it. You have conversations with yourself all the time. How do you get to that conversation? How do you get to that destination? You got to go deeper within inside yourself. When you're looking for love, why can't I find love? Based upon what you're seeing in front of you is based upon the thought process of what you know. Do you love yourself? So are you consuming? What are you consuming based on that love of self? Do you love chicken wings or do you lust chicken wings? Chicken wings make you feel good. But we already know the antibiotics and everything that's pumped into the meat that itself, that's what's causing the cancerous tumor. That's what causes it to your body. Your body should be able to break down anything with ease. If you take in a nice healthy diet of your fruits and veggies and you're becoming more plant-based, you'll start to notice your body is going to move faster because your body's spending less time breaking down what you consume because it's basically water. It's water and sugar. Your body needs water and sugar. Your body needs minerals. Your body doesn't need vitamins. Your body naturally produces vitamins based upon the minerals that you take in. So start researching things like iris sea moss. Start researching things like a stronger root, spirulina, chlorella. If you're trying to get into a detox, start looking into things like black walnut. Start removing what you're feeding is the parasites. That's even deeper when you look at it to that level. What you're feeding in your life right now are parasites. Are you feeding parasites? Or are you feeding yourself? Because a parasite is never fed. They steadily consume. So in this realm, are you in a realm where you're feeding yourself to get higher and get better? Or are you just feeding the parasites to get by? Parasites will consume anything. Okay, that's how they need to live. But the minute you start starving those parasites, that's when your body starts to break down and starts to start loving itself again. It can come online. What you take in your head, what you take into your mind, is just as important as what you take into your stomach. Because you have 3 brains. It's proven that we have 3 brains. Our gut is where all our serotonin is produced. Our heart is the catalyst for air. Everything flows through our body. Our mind is actually the lesser brain because it just records everything and stores it. It's for recording and storage. These 3 together work together. So how are you taking yourself to the highest point? In consuming and becoming a consumer, you buy into whatever reality they give you. And becoming to savor, you start to realize you create your own reality. You create your own space. You create your own love. You create everything that you want. And it's all there. You start realizing how much you start consuming in order to sustain a feeling, sustain a taste, just sustain something. What are you really doing at the end of the day? Except for the next day, you got to do more of it. Now, the next day, you got to do more of it. You got to do it in that same contingency. How you sustain your life, Moments like this are the best times are when you're by yourself, because you learn more and more about yourself. You may have that thought like, why do birds fly south for the winter? Something simple. Research it. And you might get deep when we get into our knowledge of ourselves. What all have we invented? Thank you for throwing in that throw infinite 8. When you take yourself into your deeper self, all you're doing is learning yourself. Now you're understanding your emotions, and now as you go into the understanding of your emotions, the things you take in are healthier. And now you're starting to savor life. Now you're starting to build yourself into a level that's better for yourself. Now you start to be that example for the ones around you. If you have children, the best example is to lead by doing it yourself. You remember when you were a child, you had that moment when you were like bucking against your parents? That was based on the indoctrination what we were in. How we were indoctrinated is always going to go against our nature. So, and when we're consuming based on emotion, it's because we're trying to break away, or we're just numbing ourselves from the pain of what we were indoctrinated in. You should have no regrets or resentments at this point in life. You should be willing to learn from those experiences. Who were you before any of those things happened? Before you started consuming those unhealthy habits? Who were you before that? What took you to that space? The key to removing the barrier is you understanding what created that barrier. You created that wall. You created that space within you, and then you are now feeding it. And your ego helps you to feed it. Now you're existing within a space that you created, and now you're trying to get out of the space and don't know how to. Similar to if you lose your keys. What's the first thing someone tells you to do? Retrace your steps. Same thing to life. You lost your keys to your God self. You lost the keys to your God self. Now you got to trace the steps back to get those keys. That's all you got to do. Retrace the steps to get back to those keys. Find those keys to yourself. Unlock yourself. No one else can convey anything within you that's not already within you. If a message is speaking to you at that moment in time, if the message makes you feel good, it's resonating on a higher note. If the message makes you feel like you're being attacked, guess what? Why does it feel like you're being attacked? If you feel oppressed, it's only because something inside you feels oppressed. If you don't feel reinvigorated and stronger, what's inside you is making you feel that way. That's the key to the first parts of research. That's how you build your barometer of what you need to learn. That's when the moments of time alone with yourself. And it physically manifests, as I've said before, it physically manifests into your life. So are you doing something for the taste, in the feel? Are you doing something to take yourself into the deeper pleasure? Are you doing it simply because it's convenient to do? Or are you slowing yourself down enough? Because we're all given that same constraint, in this realm when they say time. We're all given the same 24 hours. What are you doing with yours? Are you spending 15 hours of your day wondering what someone else is doing with theirs? And then spending 15 minutes trying to get yourself ready for your day? Or are you learning yourself? What are you doing to learn and grow yourself? What are you doing to embrace yourself? All these things are off the feminine energy. Most of us, in our masculine sense, we are embracing our masculine energy and forgetting about the feminine. The spiritual realm is feminine energy, because you must feel it. The more you feel, the more you start. Niggas keep coming around you because you don't feel the worth. You don't understand your true worth yet. That's why the same no good broads and thoughts keep coming around, because you don't understand your worth yet. That's why there's no greater feeling than falling in love with yourself. Because once you fall in love with yourself, the reflection, and when you come into the paramount and you start surrounding yourself with like-minded gods and goddesses on that frequency, you're simply rising into love. We must learn how to fall back into our dark, fall back into ourselves and explore our dark to create the light that we want to sustain and reflect. That's the main key to it. Stop consuming the bullshit and start savoring the good. Start savoring those lessons that you learn every day about yourself. Stop running away from, the only thing you're running away from is yourself. We talk about we look for love, but we run away from love because we run away from ourselves. We run away from truly understanding ourselves and taking ourselves to the next level. The more you love yourself, the more people, places, items, energies, entities will come around you that will embrace into that love. But you still will be tested. That's just the way it is. Something can come into your life that tests you based upon your old self and your new self. So the more you start thinking about the thing that you want, the thing that you need, the thing that you want to savor, the more those things that you used to consume, they start to have no real merit. They start to have no real taste. You're no longer just you. You're becoming a goddess. You're becoming a god. You're coming online. You're rising to your higher self. Ride that wave. Allow everything that no longer resonates to fall away. Start filling yourself with more positive things into your life, into whether it's a run, whether it's a walk, whether it's a reading session, whether it's watching some lectures. Fill your mind and bring yourself online, because it's all inside of you. What resonates with you the strongest is what you need to go towards. If you don't know your purpose, start working on your passions, and they'll lead you to your purpose. They'll fund your purpose. Everything you need is within you. Everything you need is within you. Everything is right there, right in front of you, right at your fingertips. You just have to remove those barriers to help you see. Let's rise. Because I love y'all and we love you. Ashe.